In business, Aggrieved kick against government's 4% salary increment. And on the international front, U.S. President Joe Biden tests his popularity at a campaign rally in Virginia by Democrats. Thanks for joining us. At first in the news now, the Environmental Protection Agency is charging the youth of Ghana to actively participate in the conservation of the environment, with a vision to create a world whereby conserving the natural environment remains a topmost priority. Deputy Director of the Environmental Protection Agency in charge of climate change, Dr. Nchibo Siakon, says young people must prioritize climate change in the global bid to save our planet.
The young people are
and we're still going to be giving more on that story there. We apologize for the not availability of that story, but let's move from that and give you another story where let's now go to Jubilee House, and the president is in the news. And so we are going to give you visuals to that story in a subsequent news bulletin. But now, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, George Mreku Duka, has indicated that the government did not place a ban on small-scale mining in the country, dismissing fears of members of small-scale miners from going to site to work. He, however, says the small-scale miners could go back to their site to mine responsibly. George Mrekuduka made this statement at a meeting with members of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners at a forum in Kumasi. Here is a report filed by Metro News Ashanti Regional Correspondent Abdul Basir Suleiman. Read to you.
The stakeholder engagement in the mining sector was to, amongst other things, address the challenges confronting small-scale mining and its ripple effect on the country. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, George Mrekuduka, noted government was committed to improving small-scale mining, hence its determination to partner with the miners to make the environment from which they operate safe for mercury and other toxic waste that destroy water bodies and farmland.
Government did not place any ban on mining generally. Government placed ban on illegal mining, and even the act itself placed a ban on illegal mining. In actual fact, there was a ban because of the act, that anything that involves illegality is not tolerated as far as our act is concerned, or our constitution is even concerned.
On his part, the Vice President of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Samson Kofi Redu, bemoaned the activities of some soldiers engaged in Operation Halt, stressing that miners were losing their investment as a result of the destruction of mining equipment.
Ankana abai enka say yen small-scale miners are ikuta illegal documents no anke eka ho. Nenso ebra jumedi air coffee minister nia yeho enyina ene se afei ye won sonso ya eda entamo ye ne ayekuta licenses ene rezo no na afei ekoya poma ebimpo eka ye nua no bia titru ye Benedictus but don't pay on Saga Minister home. I say for su chairman. Na ebra na okuta the licenses. Ko shey mfidie ene ne nema enyina. Ema ehu kesiye ebeto association no yeso. Eno nti bia be nyina we bi kuta me license a se mi say si wa hai ya nhwe documents ma na se records mo kra obetumi edi ho adanse ese we kuta me licenses enso e free sabra no eba no ye nyina apake ye mfidie edi egu efie yentimi enko ye nwuma so.
Some of the miners at the forum could not hide their joy amid singing when the deputy minister informed them that those with license could go back and mine responsibly.
And it's all joy for small-scale miners there in Kumasi. Let's just say in the Ashanti region, where the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is calling for the prosecutorial powers to deal with individuals and state agencies who misuse oil revenue. Speaking at the Middle Belt Forum on the 10 years of petroleum revenue management in the country in Kumasi, the chairman of PIAC, Professor Kwame Addo, explained that the committee needs to be granted such powers to flush out perpetrators of financial malfeasance of oil proceeds. Here is a report by Metro News' Ashanti regional correspondent Addo Suleiman. Read to you.
The Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is a statutory committee established under the Section 56 of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 2011 at 815. The core objective is to monitor and evaluate compliance with the Act by government and relevant institutions in the management and use of petroleum revenue. This year's forum by PIAC in Kumasi was to engage the public from Western North, Bono East, Ahafo, and Ashanti region on the management and use of petroleum revenues. Chairman of PIAC, Professor Kwame Addo, highlighted numerous projects being financed with petroleum revenues. He said about 622 million cedis was used on physical infrastructure and service delivery in the education sector between 2017 to 2018, while over 31 million cedis was spent on physical infrastructure and service in the health sector.
Using oil money to fund the free SHS, but today we can manage it. What about tomorrow? If certain things come, unforeseen contingencies set in, and there's no money coming from oil, how are you going to fund the free SHS? So what we are saying that is good policy, but you should have alternative or additional sources. In case one is not good, you say you shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket. So in case one goes down, one can support.
The Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah explained the rationale for the Petroleum Revenue Management Act.
Public Interest and Accountability Committee, the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. Now, Act 815. And the Piaka and the Noabisia. No Jumedia or Medino or Moba, no Mabechere, Yemu. Sikana, in your free fan woman, Adia, Edi Aye, Scassen, Yanyabe Pimsamri.
The former Vice Chairman of PIAC, Kwame Jantwa, and Hajia Dr. Azara Bukari, the President of the Savannah Queen Mothers Association, raised concerns about petroleum revenues being overspent.
In the last 4 priority areas that were chosen, 92% of the oil revenue was used for free education. What about the other 3? So some of us are saying, perhaps at this material point, we should say that oil money for the next 4 years, we are using it for education. Oil money for the next 4 years, we are using it for electricity. oil money for the next 4 years we're using for sanitation, so that people can identify what the oil money has been used for.
One of the biggest issues that they are talking about is our roads, which is their concern, that roads should actually be part of the priority. And yes, roads is part of government's priority by the booklet that we are having. Education is part of government priority.
You are still watching NEWSBEAT here on the Executive Director for the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, Mensah Thompson, is calling on all stakeholders involved in the proposal of a bill to prohibit homosexuality in Ghana to approach it without hate. We'll give you more on this story after this quick break with you here.
Gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it. Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchiefs. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. For Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For bill purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
The search for a reliable to have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light-duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020 000 0831 or 054 555-7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation, under the auspices of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, presents Ghana's most prestigious award, the Millennium Excellence Award. Special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Akufo Addo, the National Chief Imam, Osmanu Nuhu Shaributu, Dr. Ibn Chambers, Chief of Staff, Madame Frema Opare, and several other dignitaries. Showing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Metro TV. Millennium Excellence Awards, honesty, humility, fairness. Millennium Excellence Awards, powered by Platinum Live Media.
Welcome back. And now, the Executive Director for the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, Mensah Thompson, is calling on all stakeholders involved in the proposal of a bill to prohibit homosexuality in Ghana to approach the matter without hate, bearing in mind the human right of all persons, including homosexuality. He decried the antagonism that emerges whenever the gay conversation came up. He spoke to acting news editor of Metro TV, Francisca Kakrafosin, on Inside Pages earlier.
I'm also strongly against the antagonism and the way in which I think we've handled just situations. And as somebody who heads a civil society that promotes human rights, I think I find some of the words quite, the actions, and even this particular bill quite extreme, you know, in dealing with the problem at hand. But he also talked about same-sex marriage. He didn't talk about same-sex. That's different. And so two people coming together to get married is maybe illegal, will not be legal, but two people having a relationship which is not marriage of the same sex is not legal. That is what the president said. And so the confusion in the president's comments has always been there. But back to the substantive issue. I think that this bill will not succeed if its intention in any way is to curb the influx of LGBTQ activities. I think this bill is dead on arrival. And I think that it's not progressive. You see, most of the laws we've had in our books have been so punitive-centered. You know, they don't provide opportunities for reform. They don't provide opportunities for personal liberties to be enforced. And so, when curiosity, when you tell a child, hey, don't touch this thing, the child will want to touch and know what will happen if I touch it. You understand? But if you provide other alternatives, that things should be done in this way and not insist on punishing people because they are doing this or they are doing that, then I think that you're not acting progressively. And
let me just quickly take a final comment because I've just been told that we no longer have time. A final comment from lawyer on this regarding bits of the bill that talks about cross-dressing or dressing that would appear. So that, for instance, if a woman decided to put on a tie, and the matter of intersex, how is that a crime because people are born like that? Benjamin, quickly in 30 seconds, maybe you can inform us on this.
Okay, thank you. So about the dressing, definitely it's not the kind of limited, cross-dressing that we're talking about. The law is clear that we're talking about full practice or expression of a different cross-dressing. So a lady or a woman always dress as a man, and you can see from top to toe that is the person's style. We have some of our sisters who just find pleasure in wearing the male apparel, but that can be differentiated. When somebody dresses purposely for to express, a homosexual identity, it's obvious.
The question will be how will that be detected? But we can't continue that. Please touch on the intersex bit. I'm afraid I'm running out of time. I'm actually out of time.
Ooh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I wanted you to quickly touch on the intersex. If somebody has...
Yes, so the intersex, definitely, that is not the natural one. The law, there's a problem with that definition because the natural one you are saying is not what the bill is intending. Okay, the bill is not intending the one that you are born with. So that place there should be a clarity to establish the fact that can this one. Except people in the community, the drafter may not get the exact one, but as we take it through the consultative process.
And also the Executive Director for Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, the first speaker there, Mensa Thompson. You also heard from a lawyer, legal researcher and author Benjamin Ntiedu, who's also giving his statement on the bill. Let's now take a look at what Ghanaians are saying, and some Ghanaians have been sharing their views on the proposed bill. They spoke to my colleague Zoe Ode.
Gay and lesbianism, they like Muslim, Christianity, we know they like for Ghana here. If they catch you there, they for jail you. Like 20 years safe.
Yes, I'm in support of the first part of the bill that talks about them being jailed when caught in the act. However, my question to that is that when you look at the way our prisons are, we don't really even train. The prisoners hardly go for serious training when they are in jail. If you jail them, I think they should be given some sort of psychological help such that when they come out after the 10 years, they will not be easily influenced to go back into the act.
The move for our leaders is we back them concerning the lesbianism and then homosexual, and the bill that come to pass to abolish or whoever involved in serving such act should be imprisoned.
10 years for corporate. My personal view is that that's even on the low. This is a no-no. I mean, why would anybody want to relate with the man on man, woman on... Well, it's complete nonsense, isn't it?
This is my personal opinion. I mean, if we accept these kind of things, I think animals are better than us. So I respect everyone, the freedom of everyone, but there is a limit for everything.
Still on the matter of LGBTQ, a member of the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, Dr. Samuel Ofori Onwana, and a board member of LGBT Rights Ghana, Rosalind Mode, clash over a fresh LGBT bill yet to be laid before Parliament. The bill, if passed on its current state, will see corporate face a jail term of up to 10 years depending on the crime. The two stuck to their extreme positions during an interview earlier on Metro News. Whereas Rosalind Mode says the bill is dehumanizing, Dr. Samuel Ofori Onwana disagrees and tags LGBTQ as demonic, which needs to be addressed.
What we have put down is for protection of the LGBTQ people. We have a comprehensive program. We are not interested in destroying lives. They are brothers and sisters. We know this thing has been there from way back in secondary school. In fact, this thing dates back as far back as Sodom and Gomorrah. We are aware. What they are looking for is legitimacy. They want this thing to be approved as a human right. They went to Strasbourg International Court for Human Rights in 2016-2017. 47 international judges were assigned to address the matter. All of them voted unanimously against this thing, that it cannot be a human right, and they added that they have no right to impose it on any nation.
This bill reeks of hatred, pure hatred, bigotry, intolerance. It is, like somebody said, dehumanizing, and it reeks of neo-colonization. If anything at all, it is the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights, in quotes, and family values that have been the ones seeking far-right extremist hate groups, known extremist hate groups from the US and other parts of the world to come and bring their rhetoric here, exporting their hate and bigotry here in Ghana, and imposing their religious ideas and interpretations onto other people.
I'm passionate about the matter. Please, stop it. That's how I get angry. Stop it. Because I sat down and listened to all you were saying.
No, you didn't.
You can't behave your life yourself that way. Let's stop the discussion. This is the attitude of the homosexual. They are bullies. Right. If you don't know, they are bullies. They try to rape angels in the days. They try to right group. They try to rape angels.
Dr. Ona, hold on.
And luckily for us, most of Africa has been able to come out of it. South Africa, Mozambique, countless countries. Some never even
South
had
Africa is because of the whites there.
All right.
Not because of the whites there. We are not talking about white people. This is coming from a place of movement, and it's a place of faith or a place of bigotry.
Let's just stay with the matter of LGBTQ, and Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Sosu, has told Metro News that the introduction of the LGBT plus bill to Parliament for consideration will bring sanity and finality to the practice which most Ghanaians consider alien to our culture. He is, however, warning of serious international consequences as Ghana's bilateral relations with its development partners will be severely bruised.
This bill is definitely a bold attempt to try and create some sanity within that space, particularly when it's been on the table and government upon government have taken positions against it, and yet we at the legislature have not taken any definite position to do something about it. So for me, it's a bold step. It would have serious consequences. I can assure you this is going to have international consequences. It will affect funding in certain circumstances, in certain spheres or in certain quarters. It's going to affect certain types of donor funding. It is going to destroy certain relationships, friendly relationships. It most likely may destroy certain even bilateral relations. However, we have a choice to make, and
I would rather be on this part at this time of history in Ghana than.
Sylvia Sosu is a member of parliament for Medina. He spoke to my colleague Abdullah Mohammed, who is a parliamentary correspondent. Away from that, now President Akufo Addo has commended the outgoing Norwegian and Spanish ambassadors for working to enhance Ghana's diplomatic relations with their respective countries. The diplomats were at the Jubilee House on Friday to bid farewell to the Ghanaian president after their duty tour.
The outgoing Norwegian ambassador, Ghana Andreas Holm, said relations between Ghana and his country has improved within his tenure.
The highlights from my side would be the fact that we have been able to develop and strengthen the bilateral ties. I would specifically, of course, mention, as was already mentioned, Your Excellency's visit to Norway and to Svalbard in February last year. Indeed cold, but indeed also very enlightening and a very unique experience, I think.
Apart from the enhancing of the political work, I don't think we still have a formal vehicle for political consultations between Norway and Ghana. It's being developed. I think that is something that in your party notes you have to leave to your successor, that he develops as quickly as possible, so we can have these periodic formal engagements to exchange views, and the involvement that already you're having even in the Sahelian region and in the affairs of the Sahel means that there's a need for us to be in active conversation, not just at the level of the heads of state, but at the level of the technicians and the leading functionaries as well.
Alicia Rico Perez de Puga is the outgoing Spanish ambassador.
We have promoted economic and commercial relations. We are bringing in more companies to support the industrialization process in the country, create jobs and opportunities.
We have to thank you. There are several initiatives in the educational sphere, the scholarship arrangements that have been made with Ghanaians, and of course also the whole COVAX initiative, and which Spain has been very active. We have to thank you also for your involvement and the contribution in that. As you know, the shortage of vaccines has been a problem for countries like ours. Well, hopefully, we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and very soon we shall begin the process again of vaccinating our population. But the Spanish involvement in that has been significant for us.
Away from the Jubilee House, the Education Ministry is fighting off claims that it misapplied 19 million cedis allocated to free senior high school account. The Auditor General, in a report to the Speaker of Parliament, said between January and July 2019, over 19 million cedis allocated for free SHS were advanced to two institutions, NACA and GES, without definite terms of recovery.
According to the report by the Auditor General, between January 2019 and July 2019, a total of 19,217,802 received for free SHS to be utilized for various planned activities were rather advanced to two institutions without definite terms of recovery as of the time of audit. The management have not recovered the amount from the beneficiary. However, the Ministry of Education has been setting the record straight on the misapplication of the funds. According to a statement from the ministry, in 2019, the Minister of Education approved the said amount to be borrowed from the free SHS account to support urgent activities of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment and the Ghana Education Service. The statement said the activities were to be funded by the Ghana Accountability and Learning Outcomes Project, a basic education reform project funded by the World Bank. Gallup, at the time, had not released funds to NACA and GES to implement the time-bound activities. The ministry also clearly stated that NACA and GES have since paid the borrowed amount into the free senior high school accounts.
We are live on DSTV channel 277 live on Facebook and on YouTube at Metro TV Ghana. We're back from the break with business stories.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation, under the auspices of Akufo II, presents Ghana's most prestigious award, the Millennium Excellence Award. Special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Akufo Addo, the National Chief Imam, Osmanu Nuhu Shariputu, Dr. Ibn Chambers, Chief of Staff, Madam Frima Opare, and several other dignitaries, showing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Metro TV. Millennium Excellence Awards, honesty, humility, fairness. Millennium Excellence Awards, powered by Platinum Live Media.
Welcome back. Coming up next is business. Now in business, the president of the Aggrieved Public Sector Workers, Norbert Bobochi, says they will kick against the 4% salary increment offered by government, describing it as unfair, and will subsequently order members to lay down their tools come August 18, 2021 as they plan to hit the streets. He added that the Trade Union Congress did not consider the plight of public sector workers before concluding on a 4% salary increment.
We seek. You see what happened, or you are seeing what is happening right now this morning. The causative organism of the problem is the same person that is going to sit to resolve the problem. How is that going to be possible? How is that going to be possible? We think that there's nothing that is going to come out of the meeting they are going to have. And until we stand up and fight for ourselves, nobody will do that for us. So it is not going to be mandatory. But I am sure no one in this world or in Ghana here as a public sector worker accept 4%, whilst the counterpart in under Article 71 are taking 60, 70, 80%. They that already are having the chunk of the money are still getting higher percentage. As we get a percentage, that cannot even afford, it cannot do anything. it can't do anything. It is not acceptable. It is an insult to the face of the Ghanaian worker.
The Minister of Trade and Industry has given an assurance that the Commander Sugar Factory will be operational before the year ends. According to him, operational difficulties are being resolved to enable a smooth takeoff. Addressing Parliament, the Minister said a strategic investor, PAC Agrotech Ghana Limited, has been approved by Cabinet to help revive the factory.
With the transaction advisors, the Ministry has painstakingly worked through these various requirements and requests from the strategic partner, and as part of these arrangements, PAC Agrotech has applied for and has been granted 1D1F status by the Ministry. This will enable PAC Agrotech to take advantage of the incentives and benefits as approved by Parliament for 1D1F registered companies, and therefore to commence operation of the Commander Sugar Factory expeditiously. Mr. Speaker, I have instructed the transaction advisor and PAC Agrotech to ensure that the conditions precedent to the concession agreement and the roadmap for the opening of the factory is finalized by the end of August this year to enable operational activities at the factory commence before the end of the year.
Ghana's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament has reiterated a submission by the Speaker of Parliament that the laws will be reviewed to allow Nigerians in the retail business to end the age-old feud between Ghana and Nigeria.
Law has created a lot of problems between us and Nigeria, and I believe that, as Right Honorable Speaker raised it, it's something that we need to look at it critically. I can say so, and then see how we can create a level playing field. But don't forget that Nigeria took a decision on importation of rice because they also identified a loophole that Benin had a relaxed system that allows rice to get into their market and other commodities, and they were spending so much in the agriculture sector to help grow the local rice economy. They noticed that, yes, there is a free market for all, somebody can trade here and there. However, because people were taking advantage of the low tariffs, they would bring it to the Nigerian market, and the economy was collapsing in the area of rice production. What did they do? They took remedial step, and it's worked for them. So we may have to specifically look at how we are affected, and if there is any trading, any imbalance in terms of resource availability, in terms of the laws, we can specifically deal with it. And this issue of Ghana-Nigeria matter, ends once and for all. They are big brothers. We've worked together. This whole ECOWAS thing, it was really championed initially by Ghana and Nigeria. We played critical role. Ghana contributes a lot to ECOWAS. Nigeria does a lot. So I believe that we can do better than we've done so far.
It gives.
So Nizan will spend up to £423 million to produce a new generation all-electric crossover vehicle at the plant where it already produces the Leaf electric vehicle and the crossover SUV. According to Nizan's Chief Operating Officer, Mishwani Gupta, this will create more jobs for people in the United Kingdom.
It gives me a great pleasure to announce today all new Nissan electric vehicle for the production in the UK. This new generation crossover will be building on the success of Qashqai and Duke and help even more customers to make the switch to EV. It will be built on the Alliance CMF EV platform and will be the next step in our mission to make zero-emission motoring even more accessible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 360-degree commitment, zero-emission driving, and zero-emission manufacturing. This month is the 35th anniversary of when the first car was made in this plant. And Nissan EV360 is a £1 billion birthday present for all of my colleagues here. Production of this vehicle and its batteries will create 6,200 jobs in UK.
That's it for business. Up next, sports. And a sports director and board member of Accra Heart of Folk, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklu, has indicated that after annexing the Ghana Premier League title, the team must now focus on winning the MTN FA Cup trophy to make it a grand style.
Presently, I think we have before us the FA Cup. We want to have a double cup. And I would like to appeal directly to the coach that this particular FA Cup should be taken seriously. The match should be taken seriously. Where we've reached, we should be able to come to the finals. The FA Cup is a challenge to the coach and the players in particular. I'm glad the captain is here. Make sure you add that to the League Cup that we have. And I can assure you, we are definitely going to Africa and come out very successfully. Thank you very much.
Still on soccer, the quarter-final games of the MTN FA Cup starts today with 2 games to be played at the Obuasi Clay Sports Stadium. Ashanti Gold Coast will lock horns with Kintampo Top Talents at 3 p.m. as league champions Hasvok play Elmina Sharks at the Indo Sports Stadium later in the day at 6 p.m. Away from that, the opening ceremony of the 2020 Olympic Games opened yesterday in the Japanese capital, Tokyo, without the usual fanfare with massive crowd attendance. And still on the Tokyo 2020, now the Games opening ceremony has taken place at the Olympic Stadium in Tokyo without the usual fanfare due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Restrictions measures by the IOC and the Tokyo City authorities ensured that came to play. In attendance was the president of IOC, Thomas Bach, and the Japanese Emperor Neshiroto, Japanese tennis star Naomi Osaka lighted their Olympian flame to officially start the games.
Grèce,
Greece,
ギリシャ、アメリカ合衆国。Mesdames et messieurs, la flamme olympique fait son entrée dans le stade.
Beautiful display there in Tokyo. That's it for sports. Up next, our stories in entertainment. Popular Ghanaian social media chef Sweet Ajeli has expressed her fulfillment about impacting the lives of her followers through her cooking adventure on social media. She spoke exclusively to Francisca Kakrafosen.
Very. I am very excited when somebody reaches out to me to say, hey, because of you, I've started a business. And many people
telling you that?
Oh, plenty. A lot of people.
Business, a food business.
Food business.
Okay.
Like sobolo. People are making sobolo.
Yeah, I saw the sobolo and pineapple.
Yes.
I'm going to try that.
Yes.
I'll try and make that.
It's delicious.
It may be disastrous, but...
No. Once you soak it overnight, it's just ready. Not much. You can actually drink it without cooking it. Okay. But because you buy it from the market, you don't know. Yeah. You just want to boil it, you know. So and that makes me happy.
Okay.
An interesting conversation there. Catch it again at 2 p.m. today as it airs here on Metro TV as a repeat. Away from that, former manager of Hip Life musician Famille and owner of OGB Music record label, Ogidi Brown, has questioned his former signee Famille not to lay claim to any song produced during his time with the label. Ogidi Brown made this known in a post on Facebook earlier yesterday.
Just when we thought the drama between hip-life musician Famille and his former manager Ogidi Brown was over, the two had to be at it again. After making it known to the world that they had parted ways amicably, Famille has incurred the wrath of his former manager Ogidi Brown after he got an alert from YouTube over a claim of copyright to music videos produced under OGB Music, which is owned by Ogidi Brown. In a post on Facebook earlier today, Ogidi Brown warned Famille not to lay claim on any song produced under the label. He wrote, Famille Music never tried to claim the songs and videos I produced for you, else you will see another side of me. My brother, go in peace. Never even sing the song I produced for you on any platform. This is the last message for you. Ungrateful, next will be action. This was accompanied by a screenshot of the YouTube copyright message he had received. According to a statement released earlier this week by Famille, both parties had parted ways on a good note, but with the latest development, it doesn't suggest so. There hasn't been any response yet from Famille.
That's it for news and entertainment. Up next is a look on the international front. And in Congo, displaced families in the Democratic Republic of Congo are in dire need of shelter after escaping violence in the east of the country, the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, has stated.
More than 100,000 displaced people were assisted with emergency shelters in 2020 and almost 14,000 so far in 2021. But needs remain high as attacks by armed groups continue to displace people in the province, with many forced to flee multiple times. Women and children are particularly vulnerable. Elodie Kavugo, 41, and her children escaped fighting at home in eastern Congo after armed groups attacked their village. They walked for days on foot looking for a safe place to settle. They lived in a leaking tent for 9 months. UNHCR and other partners later provided them with food, healthcare, and a brick house.
We assist in emergency, so we provide tarpaulin to IDPs who have recently been displaced so that they can themselves help build some emergency shelter. But also we adapt to the condition of the area by providing support to the community so that they can have shelter similar to what is in the community, and that facilitates their integration in the host communities.
Over 2 million internally displaced Congolese fleeing their homes in North Kivu province have undergone a similar experience. Most of them have been able to count on the hospitality of their host communities for accommodation, though this puts enormous pressure on their displaced and their hosts. Over 23,000 displaced families in North Kivu received shelter assistance in 2020, but the overall needs keep growing, with over 100,000 families still in urgent need of shelter in the province alone. Edmond Bakitua found refuge in a primary school in Oicha during the COVID-19 pandemic when schools were closed, but as they reopen, displaced families are being asked to leave. As more and more people flee to safer towns, the housing situation continues to deteriorate. UNHCR is working to improve housing for displaced people in North Kivu, but more assistance is urgently needed to meet shelter needs.
And now to the U.S. House of Representatives, in which they have a slim majority, are also going for the governorship position there in Virginia. Democrats hope next year to keep control of the U.S. House of Representatives. They have a slim majority and the Senate, in which there is a 50-50 split, while the Republicans hope to take over leadership of both chambers. And now President Joe Biden tested his political muscle in the state of Virginia on Friday, July 23, in a campaign stop for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry Magg, who Biden said was running against an acolyte of former President Donald Trump.
Incredible judgment. Look, folks, what we have now is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And by the way, you know that old expression, you notice a lot of our very conservative friends have finally had an altar call. They've seen the Lord, whether it's on Fox News or whether it's the most conservative commentators or governors. And I think the country's looking. He's off your elections, the country's looking. This is a big deal. Terry and I share a lot in common. I ran against Donald Trump, and so is Terry.
And that's it for the news. A quick look of our top stories. Civil society group ASEPA calls for an all-inclusive approach devoid of hate in deliberations about homosexuality in Ghana, as a private member's bill criminalizing homosexuality is proposed to Parliament. In business, Aggrieved public sector workers kick against government 4% salary increment. And on the international front, U.S. President Joe Biden tests his popularity at a campaign rally in Virginia by Democrats. Thank you for watching. I am Bryce and Akufo Amini. And the news will be back at 7 p.m. with News Night. Have a good afternoon.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.